guys good? Girls good, y'all?
Everything good?
Yes.
All right. We are here, and we're still in Lansing, right?
Yes.
All right. We are here in Lansing, Michigan, with the family of Richard Johnson, who went missing on May 7th of 2023. Would you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your dad?
My dad was 63 years old when he went missing. He's a happily married man with Huntington's disease. So he was very homebound, but still, ventured outside once in a while.
What happened to him?
My father left his apartment at 10:30 p.m. on May 7th, went to an associate's apartment who lived directly next door. He left from, Delta Square, and went to Plumtree Apartments to an associate's, Robin Maldonado's house, and has never been seen since.
Did he make it to his house?
It was said that he made it to her house, but what happened afterwards is the biggest question.
Okay. Did police interview her? Or?
So police interviewed her, I want to say almost maybe 3 days after him missing, not right away. And that was like more of a forceful thing because she didn't seem to want to cooperate at first. She's never been interrogated or brought into the police precinct at all, though.
Do you know what she said when she was interviewed?
There's been about 5 different stories as to what happened.
Can you recall any of them?
So the first one, he came over to the house. Supposedly she gave him something and then he left. The second story was she never seen him when he was there and she was in the bathroom and then he left. And then the third one was he came over to actually use the bathroom and left to go to the nearby store, which was Meijer.
And there was a sighting there, was there? No.
So apparently that there was supposed to be a sighting at the Kroger, which was farther down the street. But now that, things have unfolded the way they did, I just feel like that was a way to just throw us off and just be done with the story in general.
Do you know if police ever pulled surveillance footage from Kroger or no?
So they said that there has been footage pulled from Kroger and Meijer. There was a lot of cameras that were supposed to have been viewed, and he's never been seen on any of those.
Okay. Did he have a vehicle?
No, my dad has not drove since he was in his mid-40s.
Okay.
Due to his disease, so he would have been on foot.
And what type of disease did he have?
My dad has Huntington's chorea.
What does that do? What is that exactly?
So Huntington's is similar to Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's altogether. Kind of messes with your brain and your body functions and memory.
How did that affect him personally?
It changed him completely from the person that we grew up with until us not seeing him. But it wouldn't have just made him not be found. It should have been more of an urgency because he does have this disease. For the police to be looking for him.
Right.
Because they considered him more able-bodied when he was an able-bodied, but he wasn't able to make his own decisions for himself and things of that sort.
Was he able to walk?
Yes.
Right,
so he could walk.
No medical devices needed, no canes or anything.
No, he didn't need any canes, no medical devices. He went on this walk frequently, so it wasn't something that he wasn't capable of doing.
Okay. And you said the apartment that he was going to was right next door.
Yeah, so there's Delta Square and then there's Plumtree. So they are directly right next door. I mean, it's maybe a 10-minute walk if you're walking on foot.
Okay.
But probably not even that long. That's if you're just at your own leisure.
Okay. Did he have a cell phone?
No.
He did
So
not.
him and my mother are connected at the hip. They shared a cell phone. They shared everything. So he was literally supposed to be going right over there and coming right back and just never made it back home.
Do you know why he was going over there?
I do.
What was the reason he was going over there?
He was going over there to get something that he would frequently go get, and he never made it back home.
Okay. Did he take anything with him, like his wallet or?
His wallet was at home, money, ID, anything that you would have if you're going to go start over, or how the police said, didn't want to be found by his wife, everything was at home.
Okay. Well, was the area ever searched by police or by you
So
guys?
we had bloodhounds come in as soon as we found out. Branch County reached out to us, and we got bloodhounds on the ground. From what we know, they said, that dogs came out. We did see dogs, but they were searching the areas we kind of had already looked. As far as like a really good comb over, I'm not sure. They said they brought out drones. Again, this just wasn't things that we've seen happening.
Okay. Did you all ever personally search the area?
Oh, yeah, in and out for weeks on end. Till sun up, till sundown. We never found anything.
And he lived with your mom, right?
My mom and dad have been together since they were 16 years old. So this is really hard to see her without him. You know, we're really proud of her, you know, because she hasn't given up. But for your best friend to just be gone one day, it's hard to watch.
I'm sure. Was he still working at the time?
No, my dad was considered a liability as soon as he was diagnosed with Huntington's, and that was like when he was like 42, 44. So no, he hasn't worked for a very long time.
Okay. Did they ever give him anything to help with his Huntington's disease?
Yeah, so I know for a fact one of the things he had to take was like Haldol to help with his involuntary movements, blood pressure issues from it. And I'm not sure what else he would have to take, but Haldol I know was one that he had to take for involuntary movements.
Did that help with his memory or anything?
His memory was just like hit and miss with certain things. You know, certain things would light it back up, and then other times, you know, he's there, but it's just, it wasn't the same. So
right. Yeah, I couldn't find much on this. So I mean, is there anything you want to get out there, or?
I don't know. Like we've done it so many times now. It's
right.
just like it's almost repetitive, but it's just. We're really appreciative of all the help from everybody because there's never been any tip, any lead. All we know is he made it to that apartment. Whatever occurred in that apartment, whatever happened afterwards is like it's the big question. Like, we just want to find him, you know, whatever that entails. Like, we just want to know where our dad is.
Right. And I know you said prior to recording that you have submitted your DNA to NamUs and
yeah, so our DNA was taken June or July of 23, and August 26th of 2024 it was finally mailed out. So we don't know if we for sure not have a profile built yet, but you know, I would assume in the next month or two we'll actually finally have a profile, and that's kind of what our detective assumes now, because at first he thought that he was just going to show back up, that my dad was just couch hopping how he assumed he would, and we're telling him that that's just not a thing. He assumes that once our DNA is actually in NamUs that my dad has likely already been found.
okay.
I got a bunch of questions.
Okay.
You'll have to repeat it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they can hear me. I'll start from the top, and you can repeat it. Starting from the top, someone said, can they check the phone?
Can they check the phone?
He didn't have a phone.
No.
So, but the phone records, the phone that my mom and dad had together was submitted in the very beginning to the police.
Another one, someone said, did he go with friends?
No, he was by himself. He was by himself when he left.
They asked, was the apartment complex searched?
Was the apartment complex searched?
So that's what we're unsure of. So when me and my brother first found out my father was missing, we went straight to the lady's apartment. She had lied and told my mom that she was in the hospital, when sure enough she was at home, and we just banged on her door hard enough that she opened. And we went in. I mean, me and my brother walked right in and searched her apartment as much as we could without, you know, doing too much. But there was no signs of my dad. There was multiple adults in the apartment, but not one was my father.
Okay.
She also then took off running from us. Like, it wasn't like we were threatening in no manner. We were like, have you talked to the police yet? She hadn't talked to the police, so we called the police, and she took off running out of her apartment from us.
That's strange.
It is. It's very strange. She also played this really evil game at Cheddar's one day. She told the waitresses, this is in the very beginning of him missing, like the first 2 weeks, that she was with the man that was missing, and it was just her boyfriend. And we flew up there because the wait staff was like, get up here. This looks like your dad. This lady's saying she's with the missing man, and it happens to be her. So tell me why she has not been brought in to be questioned or, you know, a fire lit in some type of form or fashion, because she plays an evil game. She knows more than what she knows, and she's not dumb.
How old is she?
She's in her 60s, I want to say.
Okay.
So then she plays this frail role like she's sick when she is not.
I imagine she'd be younger if she took off running from the police.
Oh, she did a barrel roll under the carport. I was impressed. I was like, I wouldn't do that in my 30s.
What?
Oh, that was one of the questions. Is have the police questioned her since the barrel roll? Or?
No. So they talked to her in her apartment only 2 or 3 times. But she claims to take care of these 2 old men, which is another game. She collects their checks. She does not have to take care of them. She could have been brought into the precinct because she's always so inebriated. That's what they say, that she's too much of a liability. We'll sober her up. She knows more than what they've let her get away with for 18 months now.
Right.
They asked, was there ring camera?
Was there any ring camera footage?
So we have asked over and over and over for, you know, people to check their rings around that time, and nobody ever came forth with anything.
Okay.
The apartment complex tore down all of our missing posters that we put up as soon as my dad went missing, because I went out there night after night. I always seen people. So I know somebody had to have seen my dad that night.
Right.
What apartment complex?
Plumtree apartment tore down our signs in the beginning due to not wanting to worry or scare their residents. But what's to be scared of? We just said he's missing. We didn't say nothing happened. We just need to know, did somebody see him?
Somebody else asked, did he bring medicine with him?
Did he bring any medication with him?
No, he brought nothing with him. He was literally to go to that apartment and come right back home. My mom also had like something wrong with her finger at that time. She ended up having to get it amputated 2 weeks later. He went to go get Neosporin from that lady's house and never made it home.
Somebody asked, is he originally from Michigan?
Is he originally from Michigan?
Yes, he's originally from Lansing. So he's been here his whole entire life.
Does he have ties to any other state? No.
Just here.
That's it for questions.
I'm trying to think if I can think of any more.
Last time you talked to detectives?
I just called the detective recently because of the 2 bodies that were found in East Lansing. There were 2 bodies found in a freezer. One was dismembered, one was a full. But we found out that that's not going to be my father. There was another body that was washed up on shore a week or 2 ago in Petaway. I don't even know if it's over by Greenville somewhere, but there was a body that washed ashore on Lake Michigan. Still waiting to hear about that. But yeah, that's why I talked to him a few weeks ago to find out, like, hey, is our profile built yet? But he hadn't heard back from NamUs, so that was the first time we kind of talked since probably August.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to include?
No, I think that's almost it. Like, there's not much.
Yeah, I couldn't find much yesterday when I was researching.
Yeah, it's hurtful because my father would never leave my mom. He wouldn't leave us. We know something has happened, and, you know, we just want somebody to come forward with, you know, where is he? We can do the rest. But, like, the not knowing is the hardest thing ever, to wake up every morning, go to sleep every night, not knowing where your loved one is or what happened to them. It makes life really difficult, you know, because you realize then that time doesn't stop for anybody, but time stopped for our family.
Right.
It's about to be our second Thanksgiving without him, our second Christmas. Yeah, it just sucks. We just wish more would have been pressed in the beginning. When we said, like, this is wrong, he wouldn't just be out here. He doesn't have the means of taking care of himself. My mom takes care of him. And it was just like it was ignored. I just feel like there should have been more done in the beginning. And there wasn't. And now here we are, and it's 18 months later, and we know as much as we knew from day one. And you think it gets easier, but it definitely doesn't.
Nothing else?
We have some. You guys don't have a page set up.
Do you have a
guys
page set up?
group set up?
We used to have one for a little while that somebody was running, and I don't know who was running it. So the most I do is like from my own page for him. I've shared every news article, every interview we've done. I did the podcast with I can't even know.
Vanished product.
The Vanished, yeah. But yeah.
I was going to ask, what would you want like the community to do, or what could maybe the local police and politicians do better? Or
I think we need Michigan definitely needs a silver alert. And we have amber alerts, but we don't have silver alert for the elderly that go missing. I don't think it should be stipulation to disability and whatnot when the elderly go missing. It should be just as got to as a 2-year-old missing, because that could have saved my father if that was a thing. The assumption that because an adult left and they don't have to be looked after when there is a certain disability that they are not able to take care of themselves. With my dad's case in particular, it should have been sought after. He has Huntington's. We said that, and it was poked fun at. Oh, us husbands don't want to be found, or, oh yeah, because he's had this disease for that long. You know, it was just certain things that are like, okay, well, you thought it was a joke when you didn't have to live in the household and watch this happen. And I think when a family is telling you something's wrong, it should really be listened to because it wasn't in our case. And not knowing anything more than what we did 18 months ago is very hard. Because the technology these days, resources these days, we watched a whole female fake her disappearance, and how many of those resources were touched on, yet you have a real missing person and you get none of that. If I were to have been missing, that woman would have been incarcerated, I'm sure, a long time ago, and at least interrogated more than once. But yet, because it's a grown man with a disability, it's treated completely different, and I think that really needs to be rewired completely.
close up or
We do.
close?
Okay.
Close up?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. So, if your dad would happen to see this, what would you like to tell him?
If my dad happened to see this, I want him to know that we love and we miss him so much. And then get to a phone, call 911 because everybody is looking for you. We need you. Sorry, I was trying not to cry so bad.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, it sucks. Yeah,
no,
his case was treated really shitty.
It's horrible.
We got told about, there's a murder case in the morning. Then the next person that had it was, oh, my wife has heart surgery. And it's like, it's not that we don't care, but we don't care. What about our dad? So it was like, this case was passed down